Texas A&M gets it done in College Station. Final score, Aggies 16, Auburn 10. What do you take away from this game, though, if you're an A&M fan? And if you're an Auburn fan, where do you go from here? We'll unpack both sides of this thing moving forward. Before we do that, though, if you're a college football sicko, if you're a Texas A&M fan, or if you live and die with Auburn every Saturday, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. It's college football, nothing but college football year-round, so make sure you're subscribed. And also, get at me on Instagram, Twitter, at JD PicKell. Let me know your thoughts on this game, because I got a few thoughts here. I want to start with A&M. First of all, we'll say this from Mike Elko, 4-0 for the first time since 2016. So we just have that acknowledged. He wanted that acknowledged. We've done that now. This is what I was impressed by from A&M, because I think it's very easy to say, well, hey, the offensive firepower wasn't really there, right? Like, where's that team that hung 40-plus on Notre Dame? I didn't see that in this spot. And you were at home. That Auburn defense, too, like, they didn't look that great against Baylor, give over 400 yards passing. It's like, what's up with this? I was impressed by how A&M found another way to win a football game. Because if that's all you have in the bag is we're going to go score 40, and if we don't score 40, then we're going to have a tough day at the office, the way the defense responded was impressive to me. Like Jackson, Arnold, and Auburn, say what you want about the passing game. We'll talk about that later in this segment. They've been a running football machine. They've been phenomenal on the ground. And A&M held them to 2.2 yards per carry. Torrey and York is electrifying. I mean, they had 5 sacks on the day. Bunch of teams, like, they were getting after Auburn up front. And this is, again, a team in Auburn that is specialized in controlling the line of scrimmage offensively, and that was A&M today. Like, A&M on the defensive side controlled the line of scrimmage, and then on the offensive side, over 200 yards rushing. We'll take that all day. And now I think that when you look at this score, if you just look at the box score in of itself, I think it's a little bit deceiving. Like, A&M has a touchdown that gets called back for illegal man downfield. You have a fluky turnover that ends up setting up Auburn with a short field. This game was never actually as close as the score indicated. It was controlled by A&M. It was controlled by the line of scrimmage. So if you're telling me A&M has that in the bag, they're a line of scrimmage football team that can stop the run and then also run the football, which we already thought they could before the year, but I digress. And then you have those power tools in a K-State Concepcion and a Mario Craver and a Marcel Reed that can get you any single day of the week. I love where A&M is at right now. I love the way they're built. Because if you have those power tools that I just mentioned, but you also have the ability to win the old-fashioned way, which is just we're lining it up and our big people are going to move your big people. We're taking a shovel to the back of your head and feel fine doing that, and we can win that way smiling. Great. Like, was it perfect for A&M? No. A couple of field goals that are usually in Randy Bond's range that didn't go his way. Okay, ball up top. But again, you never apologize for finding a way to win. And A&M did exactly that. Okay, so you've won in a shootout against a good Notre Dame team, and that win is going to age well, I believe that. Then you found a way to win in a rock fight at home against a talented Auburn team. Auburn's got their own work cut out for them, but I just think it needs to be mentioned. Winning ugly is still impressive. Even if it's not aesthetically pleasing, it's still impressive to me relative to what it says about A&M going forward, which what it says is they can win any style of game, which I don't think you could say about them previously. One more thing to mention about A&M. What was our challenge for them coming into this game? Hey, you've had a full week now to devour all the rat poison there is. A&M's so good. A&M beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Hey, this A&M team's clutch. A&M's team's different. If that was going to be the spot where A&M was going to have a letdown, we would have seen it. And you're saying, JD, like, they only won by 6. Yeah, I hear that. But again, they controlled the game. They controlled the time of possession. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They controlled the rush numbers, all those things. A&M controlled this game. And so to me, if A&M didn't have a little bit of composure to them, we would have seen it in this spot against a team now in Auburn that was talented enough to beat you. Now, that's the frustration here if you're an Auburn fan today. It's not about talent. And I sound like a broken record. I keep saying this about the Tigers, but it's 110% the case. They are talented. They have recruited at a high level. They have, I think, a top-tier receiver room in the SEC, if not college football. They clearly have a defense that can roll. I mean, DJ Durkin and that front 7 played phenomenal yesterday. You hold an offense to 16 points. I understand the rush numbers I just mentioned. Those absolutely lean A&M. But if you hold the offense to 16 points, you should win the football game. And for Auburn, the frustration, I think, for me watching them offensively, they just look so one-dimensional offensively. And then you got to this spot where you couldn't have the one thing you've leaned on all year, which is your run game. You played a team that has, top-level trench play, and you get stopped on the ground, and there's no rebuttal. There's no other punch. And it's one thing to say that and not have the personnel. Auburn's got Cam freaking Coleman, who's a first-round caliber wide receiver. Auburn's got Eric Singleton, who is a proven commodity, what he did coming over from Georgia Tech. It shouldn't be this way if you're Auburn. And that's why it's so frustrating. And so when you look at this whole outlook going forward for Auburn, Hugh said multiple times post-game, we're going to reevaluate everything. We got to be better as coaches. It's not on Jackson Arnold. And I think what he's saying is true. I don't think he's just giving lip service. But here's the deal, man. There's got to be some kind of change for Auburn offensively. There has to be. And I like Jackson Arnold as much as anyone else in college football. I root for him. I think his story and what happened last year at Oklahoma is a tough deal. But at some point, dude, if the party's not going the right direction, you got to change things. You got to change the music. And so with a full week now to get right before Georgia, I would consider, if not changing quarterbacks entirely, working in some more packages for a one-deuce night, because he's your future. He's the guy that you're going to live and die with here when it comes to Hugh Freeze and his job security over the course of the next couple of years. Like, all that is where I fall in this thing for Auburn. Jackson Arnold, consistently now, whether you want to talk about it being the offensive line's fault, whether you want to talk about it being how good the defense they're playing is, consistently they have not been good enough throwing the ball downfield. And I don't blame the receivers. Say what you want about the offensive line. Jackson Arnold a couple times there holding that ball a little bit much. Now, he's a competitor. I think that the fire he plays with is awesome, but at a certain point, like, we need more offensively, Auburn. We need more. And so I would very seriously consider making a change at quarterback, and if not making a full-on change, I would consider switching to not a dual quarterback system, but working in Deuce Knight a little bit more. If your take is, hey, we don't want to change quarterbacks before Georgia, more power to you. I hear that. But I think that at a certain point now, if I don't see more from Jackson Arnold, needs to be a change. It might not be all on Jackson Arnold, but you got to make a change. You got to switch the vibe up, and you got to find a way to score more points is the most simplistic way to say this. And the guy who touches the football every single snap has left you wanting more. When you run the ball for 2.2 yards a carry and you throw the ball for less than 200 yards with that receiving core, you got to make a switch. You got to find something different, whether it's your quarterback or something else. But again, I think that the quarterback's the first place I would look. All right, so A&M found another way to win. Auburn, we got to do some soul searching here during this bye week before Georgia. But the plot thickens. It might just be one of those years in the SEC, which for us as college football fans is just phenomenal to watch. So if you're a college football sicko, if you're going to be dialed into all the madness across the rest of the season, make sure you're subscribed. Caden Smith on the ones and the twos, myself, JD PicKell. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. We'll keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.